Hi class. So this is a demo for assignment 6.3, exterior elevations. And so these are the exterior elevations of the office building that we've been working on for assignment 6.1 and 6.2. So here I have two pages. The first page has the front elevation and the right elevation, and the second page has a section view of the office building. So this is showing details for the roof, wall, foundation, etc. Okay, and so the first thing I want to do is I want to open up the architectural template elevations. So I have that opened up here, and in here I already have the section view. And if I go to my layout tabs, I see that I have a blank viewport here, and then if I go to the one that says section view, I already have my section view within my viewport, so that's pretty nice. Okay, and so these elevation views are going to be based off of this section view as well as 6.1, the floor and space plan, and 6.2, the roof plan. And so I need both of those and this to create my elevation views. So I actually have those assignments open here. But before I do that, before I copy them over, I'm just going to go ahead and change my text size to 4.5, and I'll change my dim scale to 48. So it's the same as the last two assignments. And then I'm going to create a new multi-leader cell, and I'm going to name it spline. So I'll go here to annotate, manage multi-leader cells. I'm going to say new. I'll name it spline. And I'm just going to match my settings to the ones I have in the workbook. So I'm going to change that to spline. And all that stays the same. This one is going to be a scale factor of 48. I want to change the text cell to Salis BT, text height to 330 seconds, and everything else looks good. Okay, so I'm going to copy my floor and space plan, and I don't believe I need the dimensions, so I'm just going to copy the plan without the dimensions. If I need the dimensions, I'll add that later. And then I'm also going to do the roof plan. And remember, so when I copy over the line work from one drawing, it's going to bring with it the layers, text cells, dim cells, etc. As long as those have a different name than what I have here in this drawing, in the one I'm copying it into. Okay, so I'll move that. I'll grab this corner and I'm going to put it so it's overlaid on top of this building. So I'm going to put it on this corner. And it's a little bit convoluted. I can leave it like that. I don't mind too much. Or I can go ahead and fix it up a little bit. Or not fix it up, but clean it up and take away the things that I don't need. So for the purposes of this video, I'll go ahead and do just that. I'll clean it up. So I'll say, go ahead and freeze. No, I mean, I'll just lock both of these. I'll lock the roof layer. I will lock the doors and the windows because that's all I need for my elevation views. I need to look at the location of the doors, the windows, the walls, the porch, and the deck as well. So let me also lock that one. Okay, and then I could take everything else and delete it. I'm just going to unlock those. And I need to do an exterior elevation of the front of this building. So that's actually this side where the doors enter. So I'm going to rotate this. And I also need to do the right side. So this side over here. So I'll copy this over. I'll put it over here. And then I'm going to rotate all of this one more time. And I will take both of these and I'm just going to move them up. So I'm just using these to create construction lines, actually, so I can know where my wall and door and window locations are. There we go. Okay, so I'll go to the construction layer. I'll go ahead and turn this to a different color just to make it a little bit more clear. I think like a light yellow is fine. And I'll go to construction. And I'm going to create some construction lines using this section view. So I'm going to make it extra long. And then I'm just going to take that and copy it. So I'll do one for the top of the floor. I'll do one for the top of the doors, the bottom of the roof, and the top of the roof. All right. And I'll go ahead and do one also for this feature here. This is the sun fascia. So this is like the trim that goes around the roof. So I'll copy this line. Not circle. I'm going to do copy. And I'll put it right here for that edge. And then I need to create some construction lines from these walls and the roof and everything first, but I'll go ahead and just start with the walls. So I'm gonna make that extra long. And then I'll copy this over. So that wall edge, this wall edge, and then here's the posts. So I'll go around the posts. All right. So I'll go ahead and start drawing my walls. I'm going to switch to the A wall layer. I'll just start with this rectangle tool. So I'm gonna go all the way down here to the ground level, and I'm gonna go up to where this edge is here for the roof. So that's that second line. It's like right about there. Okay, so now I have this box. And it's a little difficult to see. So maybe I'll change the color, at least for now, and I'll change it back. This pink color. Okay, that's easier to see. Then I'll create the lines for my wall edges. This one was the posts. And I'll go ahead and do the same thing for this side. So I start off with a rectangle and go to that second line. Okay. And then it says top of floor. So if I look back at my exterior elevations, I have that on my other screen right here. So I had the deck and the porch, so I want to go ahead and draw those lines there. All right, so right here for this view, and I have another one here for this view, and I'll go ahead and add the deck and the porch in a moment. And one more right here. Okay. All right. So let's see. We have all of our walls, and I can go ahead and no, I could go ahead and do the deck and the porch right now. So I know it extends 3 inches beyond, but if I didn't remember that, I could just simply move this line over here so that way I can create those edges. So I'll go ahead and move those, and I'll move this one as well to the edge of my deck and my porch. Okay, and so now I have to I'll go ahead and create some lines and then just make the trim after. So I'll do PL for polyline. Oops. So actually there's a thickness associated with that deck, and it is 5.5 inches. So it's like a piece of lumber that's this nominal size is 6 for the width, and so we're going to draw it to 5.5. So it's going to be 5.5. Then it's going to go out here, right, just like that. And I can even copy this. I can move it over here, and then I can stretch this. So I'll select that, and I'll deselect this one and do S for stretch. And I'll stretch it to the appropriate size, just to be a little bit more efficient. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here on this one. So the porch or the deck, it extends right around here. So I'll deselect this one, do the stretch command, and stretch it this way. All right, and then I can do some trims. So maybe I'll go ahead and do that now. So I'll freeze that construction layer for now. I'll trim those. And the post doesn't go all the way down. It's going to stop there, or it's going to at least be hidden, I should say, behind the deck. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to take all these and join them. And I can also move those to the A deck layer. Okay. So let me turn back on my construction lines. And I need to I need to add this portion, and I also need to add the roof. So let me move this to the roof edges. So I have one here. Right there. I could just delete those for now. And right there. And then I'll move these construction lines. And obviously, you don't need to do it this way. This is just how I'm choosing to do it. I could have put all the construction lines first, but sometimes I get a little bit confused when there are too many construction lines showing. Okay. And so let me switch to the roof layer. And I'll go ahead and draw this trim here. So that starts here. Oops. I'm going to do rectangle. And that's going to go all the way to this edge of the roof. And I want to repeat that last command for this side as well. And let me move that. I'm going to change the color of this roof for demonstration purposes. Let's see. Okay. All right, and then actually I need a couple more construction lines these for these ridges and the hips and such. So I'm going to copy this. I will do one here, here, and on those ones. Let's see. And then I'm going to do it over here as well. Okay, so just kind of where those intersect. And that's going to help me to draw my roof. So if I start here at this edge, I'm going to go up, and then this is the part where it gets flat. Go up here, it gets flat, and then it goes down to about here. All right, and then if I go back into my polyline command, I'm going to go up to some point. I don't know exactly where it's at. Actually, I can use this view to figure that out. So I'm going to leave this part for now. And I'm going to skip over to this right side. So I'm going to go from this part's showing in the front, so actually I'll start on this side. And let's see here. So I'm going to go up. It doesn't go up quite all the way. Actually, no, I am going to start on this side. So I'll go up here because this is the top of the roof. And I'm going to go down to here. Actually, that's not quite the right angle. Let's see here. Yeah, because then these will end up on the same level. So I'm gonna go up to, oh, this is the wrong peak. I want it to be up here. So let me adjust that. So it went here and then now it's gone back down. Okay, and then right where this peak happens, is going to end over here on this edge. Then I want to bring that down. Okay. Then I can track over this way. And create that portion of the roof. So if I were to have, so I'll copy this construction line over, come down here. Now I use this portion of the roof to know where the height of this one is. All right, and so I just kind of looked at my drawing here and use the information from my roof plan to create this. And I just have to make sure I add this little line here for the edge too. Okay, so let me go ahead and get rid of these construction lines. I can either freeze them or I can delete them completely. Maybe I'll just freeze them for now. See how it looks before I delete them. All right, that looks pretty good. Oh, there are a couple things that I'm missing though. I could delete these ones for now. But I do want some construction lines for my windows and my doors. So let me go ahead and I'll delete these ones. I'll just move this to the edge of this window and copy this over. I'll just copy that one altogether. So I'll delete all these. Do CO for copy. I'm just going to go to the edge of each window. And there's none on that wall. But I have a door here and a couple windows here. And one more door. Okay. And so in this template file, I actually have the blocks for the doors and the windows. So I can say insert, and I have a 3068 door and then a couple different size windows. So this is one of the doors, and then I'm just going to go ahead and put the windows in here and place them as necessary. Okay. And so I'm going to go ahead and move this one to, actually I need two doors. So I'm gonna mirror this because I have one that turns one way and the other one turns the other way. So now I have two blocks on top of one another. I'm just gonna move this over to right here. And I'll move this one over to right there. And then I have a couple windows. I don't know exactly where they are, and I deleted the line already, so let me put a line back here for the top of the doors and windows. And I'll put this back on the construction layer. Okay, so that's where my door is ending, which is correct. And I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to put it on. So that way the top do M for move. So the top is in this corner. So that's for the smaller window. Then I'll copy this and I'll put it over here as well. And right here. Okay. Looks pretty good so far. But the only thing is I put all these on the roof layer. So let me put them on the correct layer. It's the window layer. This is also the window layer. And these should be on the door layer. Okay, and so now I'm gonna just quickly change the color back to white since I deleted my construction lines. There we go. And then if I go back to my workbook, I'll see that there is an additional trim, 4-inch trim around all the windows and the doors as shown right here. So I have to add that trim as well. All right, and so let's see here. Maybe I'll just trace around this and then I'll do offset 4 inches. All right, and then I'll just delete this one. And I'll put this on the window layer as well. Okay, so I added the trim for this one. I just put it on the same window layer. And I'm going to copy that over for the side. And I'm going to do the same thing here. So I'm just going to create some boxes and then offset it. So I'll do offset 4 inches. Take this one, and this one, and I'm just going to adjust them. And I'll delete the inside boxes. And I'm going to move these ones to the door layer. Okay, and so now I just have to add a couple of different hatches. All right, and so I'm going to do hatch, and I have a couple that are solid hatch. So I'm going to do solid, and actually let me escape this really quick. I'm going to go to the hatch layer, and I'll do that one more time. All right, so solid, and then the trim is going to have a solid hatch as well as the deck and porch. Okay. And then one more over here, and no, two more over here. So this one and this one. And I want to create separate hatches. All right, so I'll say close hatch creation. Okay, and then I need to do a hatch for the roof and the lap siding as well as the stucco. So I'll do hatch again. Oops. Here we go. Let me escape that. And actually, while I'm at it, I want to go ahead and save my drawing. Okay, so I'm back here. Let's do hatch again. And so first I'll go ahead and do the lap siding, which that is going to be, I need to use ANSI 31. I need to change this angle to 135. And the scale is going to be 48. Okay, so 135. There we go. So I have it right there and over here. And of course, all this information is in the workbook. So in case you're wondering where I got this, that's where you can find it as well. So I'm going to do hatch again for the stucco. So I'm going to change this to air sand. There's no angle here, so I'm going to do 0. And then this is going to be a scale factor of 4. So here on this side, this is a post, so we don't want to do this little section. Then here and here. And then we need hatch for the roof. And as a note, when you are hatching things, that can complicate your drawings a bit, so you do want to save often. All right, and so for the top, all right, I want to use this one, ARRSHKE. The scale is going to be 1. All right, 1. Here we go. All right, and that looks pretty good. And I'm just going to add my ground here. I'm going to just copy this line from the section view to do that. And I also need to add my labels and my notes. So for the labels, I can also copy this over. So I'll do CO for copy. I'm going to bring this over. And then I'll copy this one. And then now I can just edit this text. So this is, I want to do capital, right, elevation. And front elevation. The scale is correct. That's what it's going to be in my viewport, so I don't need to change that. And then now I can go ahead and add my notes. So there's also these ones on my roof, so I can actually just copy this one over also. I'll copy it from this point. Okay. And then I'm already at spline, so that's good. Oh, wait, let me exit because I want to change my layer. All right, and so this is the asphalt shingles. Asphalt. Oops. All right, and so let's add the note for asphalt shingles. And I want this to align. 2x8 sawn fascia. So this is just like a type of wood. Um, so that's what I'm using for the trim there. And then I'll do space bar again for multi-liter. Here we go. Stucco finish. And then 1x4 wood trim. And then I want to mention this post as well. 6x6 posts. Right, I need to add a couple notes on this side. Two by eight. Some fascia. Stucco finish. And I'm just pressing spacebar to repeat the last command. One by six. Lap siding. And I almost forgot the lap siding note over on this side. One by six lap siding. Okay. So I think I have all the information here. I'm just going to double check it really quick. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then I'll go ahead and save that. All right, just so a really quick correction, I just need to change the orientation of the doors really quick. So that one should actually be facing this way. And then this one the other way. So it's like it swings out, and then this one will swing out in that direction. Okay. So here I have only one viewport. And the way I drew it was side by side. So what I want to do is I need to create a second viewport. So I'm going to shrink this one to the midpoint. Then I'll go to layout and then I'm going to add another viewport. There you go. I just need to move this to the viewport layer. Okay. And then my scale factor, or my scale is 1/4 inch is equal to 1 foot. And I want everything to fit in there. I'll just lock that for now. I'll adjust it if I need to, and then I'll do the same thing here. 1/4 inch is equal to 1 foot. Okay. And I like it when I do like it when all of the notes are aligned. So I'm gonna draw a line on my paper space. So it's gonna be like here. So this is not in my model space. This is just in my paper space. And then now I'm gonna go ahead and adjust these. So that way they're pretty even. I'm gonna do the same thing over here. All right. All right, and then of course I need to fill out my title block. So it's gonna say exterior elevations. The scale was 1/4 inch is equal to 1 foot, 0 inches. And then remember there are 2 sheets for this. And I have to come here and I have to fill out this title block information as well. So this is actually section view. The scale factor is the same. And now we're at 2 of 2 for the page numbers. Okay. All right, let me go ahead and save this, and then I will preview this. All right, so that looks pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and change the layer for my porch. So that way it's the same line weight as the walls around it, because it looks a little bit like it's kind of going, the lines are kind of going into it. So I want it to just be a little bit more consistent. This is supposed to be, like a visual aid in your drawing set. And so it'll just look nicer if it's all the same line weight. Okay, so let me go ahead and batch plot this. I'm gonna get rid of these ones, so I'm gonna exit that. I only want these 2 pages. PDF. I'm going to choose my location. All right. So we'll go ahead and take a look at this, and if everything's right, then we've completed the exterior elevations assignment. And if something looks wrong, then I'm going to obviously go here and I'm going to fix it. So do make sure that you are checking your assignments before you submit them. So that way you can see if there are any mistakes. Okay. All right, so that looks pretty good. Actually, I do want to add one more thing. I want to add a line in between for my viewport. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to change to the title block layer, and directly on my paper space, I'm going to just add this line. Okay. Now batch plot it one more time. All right, that looks pretty good. I did notice that I would like this to be on the text layer also. Don't think it'll make much of a difference as far as how it prints out. Let me see. It was on the framing, the default layer, and then the text layer is a little bit thicker, so I will go ahead and batch plot it one more time. Third time's a charm. So of course, rework is just a natural part of the design process like we've talked about previously. Sometimes that rework happens as you're actually checking it over yourself. So it's important to do the first check through yourself, right? And so that way, once it gets to me, it's like you already checked it, everything looks good to you. Then I'm going to check it again. And that's if you're working in industry, it'd be the same process, right? You would check it over yourself before you hand it to your boss, and then they would check it over to see if there's anything wrong. But you want to make that first pass. So that's the first page, the second page, and yeah, it looks pretty good. All right, and so that is how we do the elevation views. Thank you.